what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna walk you through an exercise that we walk through for starting this process of starting to get moving towards building this team and out of the just total mess that's going on. So for this, I need a volunteer, and I need a volunteer, preferably somebody who is in either a solopreneur or has a small team, and you are just exceptionally lost in your business. By that means you are doing everything. You are like it is just a mess of a process, and you know you need to start clearing this up. So I need a volunteer.
I love people that are like, that's totally me.
Come on up. What's your name?
You have to admit it. Come on.
What is it, Gary? Jared. Let's give it up for Jared. Jared, Jamie Tardy.
Huh?
Jamie Tardy, Jared.
Nice to meet you.
So, Jared, have a seat.
I'm going to be interviewing you
now.
No.
Now, keep in mind, we usually spend like 60 to 90 minutes going through this process, and I'm going to try and get it done in like 18 or 20. So we're gonna give kind of the Cliff Notes version. I'm going to try and race through. Is it Jared? Yeah. Okay. So the company of Jared. Now, Jared, what is your role in the company? What is your title in the company? Or what would you like it to be?
I just want to direct people.
I just realized he doesn't have a mic. Can we get a mic for Jared? Someone? Thanks. So
I do everything.
Well, I mean, right? Was CEO appropriate? I mean,
sure.
what I want to be is like the head of the company is called the what?
CEO.
The CEO. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Hello.
All right, so Jared is the CEO. Let's give it up for the mic runners. So Jared is the CEO, and what are the tasks of the CEO?
Well, for me right now,
what I mean is, from a CEO's when you are in the pilot or the captain of the ship's position,
seeing the future.
Cool. Being a psychic. Okay, so seeing future. What else are these tasks of the CEO? And if anything comes up during this process, and you want to throw them at Jared, Jared will be the filter. But if you want to throw them out at Jared, and then he's going to feed them over to me on the board. I'm only going to listen to you, though, Jared.
Okay. Keep coming, guys. Strategy, I like the strategy.
Yeah.
Steering the ship, the director, the man who's making sure that, or the guy or the person, who's making sure that everything's...
The man or the guy.
Or the woman, the person, us.
I do UFC, you know, you can't...
Yeah, well, you know, I don't. So don't hurt me.
Good.
Yeah, directing the culture of the company.
I'm going to call that hiring.
Okay.
Okay, so this is good, right? CEO their job is to see the future, set the strategic direction, and hiring. Fair enough? It's a good start. All right, let's move on. Would it be fair to say that you are not always operating in this area, in these areas?
Yes.
Okay, so what other hats, when you're not wearing your CEO hat, what other hats do you usually play?
Marketing.
Okay. And what falls in your business under marketing?
Well, product design and product development and...
Can I ask what his business is? I don't even know. What is your business?
We sell physical products on Amazon.
Oh, what a surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. Awesome.
All right, keep going. What else falls under marketing? You can throw them at Jared if you want to help him.
Yeah, copywriting, definitely.
Keep coming. Keep going.
Advertising? Paid?
Landing pages, advertising, yeah.
What type of advertising?
Online
What advertising do you do?
advertising. I mean...
Yeah, thank you for narrowing that down.
Yeah, Facebook, Amazon ads.
Okay, so Amazon, pay-per-click.
It's really basic, man.
It's
that's
cool.
why I'm up here. It's all messed up.
Yeah, but you said you're completely lost in the details of your business, so throw these details back at me. We're organizing.
Sure.
So what are these other things that fall under marketing?
Yeah, email blast if I had an email list.
All right.
And think about what you're doing like last week. Like, what were you doing last week for marketing? He's like, crap, nothing.
The only thing that I do for advertising is I put it on Thomason,
Okay.
and I give
And
out.
those are bloggers, right?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I don't know anything about Amazon, so.
Yeah, those are bloggers.
All right, cool. So when you're not wearing your marketing hat, what is one of the other hats that you wear in your company?
We fulfill products.
Okay.
So I fill products myself, and
So you're doing your own fulfillment?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do both, but yeah.
Okay, so what are you doing regularly under fulfillment?
We package the products in a mailer and ship and use the post office.
And you're doing this yourself?
Yep.
Okay, so you're sending packages?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, what else are you doing under fulfillment?
Yeah.
What's
Send
that?
Send pallets to FBA.
All right, so managing shipping and.
Yep.
Okay.
Managing shipping.
Okay, what else?
We do all the customer service. I mean,
So we're gonna make that a different hat,
okay.
and you can throw them at me now if it's fresh in your mind. But let's keep under fulfillment if possible.
Yeah, inventory management.
Okay, great.
Definitely. Thank you, everybody, for your help.
Keep throwing them at me, Jared. What else falls under fulfillment, if anything? And you can tell me if you're done.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay, good. Let's move over to customer service then. What are some of the things that fall under customer service?
We answer the emails. I answer the emails.
Okay.
Solve any of the problems that they have.
So I'm going to call that fires because there's
Okay.
always a fire that comes up, right? Go on. Refunds?
Yeah, refunds.
Okay.
Feedback, definitely. We have an automated system that asks for feedback.
Okay.
That's
So you're managing some tool or software here?
Yes,
Okay. Are you getting reviews?
we are.
Okay. And would that be fair to put under customer service in your company?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what else would fall under customer service, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, just all the relationships with our customers, anything,
That's a pretty generic thing under customer service, so I'll leave it.
that's about it.
Okay, what other hats, when you're not operating in a CEO's position, a fulfillment position, customer service position, or a marketing position, what other hats do you wear in your company?
Yeah, finance, all the accounting and bookkeeping and
Okay,
balancing,
great.
everything.
Call that finance. So bookkeeping. What else, Jared?
Yeah, budgeting.
What does that mean exactly in your business? What does that mean?
Do I have the money to buy inventory or not? That's budgeting.
Do I have the money to stay in business or not? All right. If we had the full 90 minutes, I'd go way into this deeper. But in the interest of time, we'll just say budgets. Go on.
Cash flow management. Thank you. That's
So
a good one.
I need you to tell me what this means in your business.
Well, I just make sure that I can keep running my business. So whenever I have like events like this, we just always go through our expenses and our income and determine what we can do to make it all work.
Okay.
So
So
that's
I'm gonna
pretty
keep
much
that
it.
I'm
budgets
totally
then.
interrupting, but who's we?
I have
saying we.
I have one person who helps me, and that's my spouse.
Oh, yes.
She's right
Put him
over
to
there.
work. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she helps me out a lot.
Cool. Now, honest,
What's that?
honest question. Do you both want to be in the business?
For now, yeah.
I want what you want, not what is okay now. What is it that is what you want for one of you to exit?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I want to get her out of the business as soon as we can.
And where's your wife?
She's over there.
Wife, do you want that too?
Yeah, he's trying to help me so that I can stay home with the kids.
Okay, great.
Yay,
So that's
there we go.
that's
That
what we're
sounds
gonna
way
go
better.
with.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna go with.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So, what else? What other hats would you wear in this business? I'm tempted because there's so much I want to go into really deep on these points, but Let's get a high level.
What about tech? You know a lot of tech?
Yeah, I research, new products.
Product development? I think we have,
Well,
we,
it's
right
more
now we
than-
have it under marketing, and we could massage this, but let's leave it here for now. What other hats?
Well, legal, I hired a company to do any legal, but I'd get advice from a legal person. So any problems that I have with registering the brand, I do as well,
Okay.
registering the business.
I'm
and
actually, just in the interest,
everything.
I'm actually going to put it up here. So, because that's kind of just strategic decisions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just let it fall under here, in the interest of time. Is there anything that you're doing regularly that requires, and let's include your wife on this, since we want to separate that, we want to cut those ties eventually, not with the wife, but with. What's your name, by the way? Kelly. What things are you or Kelly stuck in right now where there is just mess and it takes up a lot of your time and or energy?
The most of the time that we take is fulfilling the orders and the customer service.
Okay, so these 2 points here, fulfillment and customer service?
Yes.
Just so we make sure we've got all of the junk on the board, is there anything else that, and Kelly, you can shout this out too, are there any other hats that you guys wear that are taking up time and energy from your business?
I think we got it covered pretty
Kelly, would you say that this is at least 80% of your business? Okay, cool. So,
Okay, Ryan, can I step in? I know I do this exact same thing, and so now I'm just going to interrupt. So it's hard to just sit at one place and just think of them all. So record for 2 days. I make my clients do this. They hate me. But in 15-minute increments, record what you're actually doing, or get like rescue time or something like that, and put that on your site, on your computer. That way you can start to get all the other pieces, because I'm sure there are other things too, and we can't think of them right now.
so Jared, you are the CEO of your company, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, in a perfect world, you'd be operating as the CEO, seeing the future, setting strategic direction, and hiring, correct?
Yes.
All right, we're on the same page. That's what the CEO does. What are you actually doing?
Everything else.
All right, so stand up with me. Are you sending packages,
Yes.
shipping,
Yes.
inventory?
Yes.
Are you doing your own bookkeeping?
Yes.
Are you setting budgets?
Yes.
Do you get reviews?
Yes.
Do you manage tools?
Yes.
Feedback?
Yep.
Refunds?
Yep.
Fires?
Yep.
Send emails?
Yep.
Marketing?
Yep.
Product design? Is that you?
Yep.
You don't have anybody who's doing the design, you do it yourself?
I did hire somebody recently to do this specific design.
Oh, great. All right,
But
well,
I have to manage him to get what I want. I have to tell him what the design needs to look like.
Just for fun, I'm going to let you have that one.
Okay,
We'll
thanks.
skip it. Are you doing the development?
Yes.
Copywriting yourself?
Yes.
Landing pages?
Yes.
You build them yourself?
Lead pages.
But you do them in...
Yep. In that tool.
Okay. Amazon PPC?
Yes.
You're doing that yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Sending out emails if you had a list?
Yes.
That's you? And working with bloggers?
Yes.
You do that yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not product design. Got the rest. Okay, and we forgot finance. Oh no, we got it already. Dang it. So you're doing all of this, and you are doing the CEO stuff up here, right?
Yes.
Are you seeing the future?
I hope so. I mean,
So you're not really doing it. You're not really setting. You're so in this that you're really not looking out into the future.
not enough.
Okay.
I mean, I could maybe a day or two.
Do you?
I see the future.
Instead of like a year, you know what I mean? Like a long-term plan.
Are you setting any strategic direction? Do you guys have like a target 3, 6, 12 months out? Did you have a stake in the ground saying of where you guys are going next?
Not a stake in the ground. I have a vague idea.
Okay. And how many people have you hired?
Well,
Sort of
full-time
one?
employees, none.
So it's like sort of one.
Sort of one, yeah.
Okay, so this is what you're actually doing, right?
Right.
So this is where the CEO operates, and this is where you are. You're the red line. Pretty much everything but product design. So how's your CEO doing?
Well, I'm doing okay, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm not doing my strengths.
So
or where I should be.
let me try differently. This is Bill. Bill is your CEO, and he's doing red line stuff. How's your CEO? How's Bill doing?
He's overwhelmed completely.
So why don't you help him out? Yeah, Bill ain't doing his job. Your company doesn't have a CEO. So no wonder we're busy and overwhelmed. Now, of course, I'm only talking to Jared. None of you can relate with any of this, right? You're in good company, Jared.
Okay.
Thanks for playing along.
Sure.
So Bill, the CEO, ain't doing his job. So how is this company going to do if they don't have a CEO? How long are they going to be around? Would it be reasonable to think that whoever's doing this red line piece, since they don't have a CEO who's leading the charge, would worry that it's all going to go away one day? Yes. Because there's nobody actually leading the charge of where we're going. So this guy, red line, has a lack of job security because he doesn't have a CEO telling him where they're going. And we all know that naturally, if there is not this being set in a direction, if there is not leadership, if we aren't going anywhere, then activities are naturally going to fall to the lowest return items because fires are going to come up. And fires are going to be put out faster than anybody is going to lead the charge. Can you relate with this? So we tend to fall down to the lowest ROI activities. So this is the prescription. What would you say are the lowest ROI activities? Meaning, which things on here do not put money in your bank account?
Refunds, for sure.
Okay. What else does not put money in your bank account?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that don't directly put money in the bank account.
So tell me which ones they are.
Directly managing my inventory doesn't directly put money in my bank account. I mean, it's important, obviously, but
Okay.
managing the tools doesn't put money in my bank account.
Okay, what else?
You could probably click them all. You could probably.
How about over here? I mean,
This sending packages would be probably the most thing that puts money in my account.
so you get paid to go to the post office?
I get paid when I click that it's shipped.
Great, so that's sales.
Yeah.
Do you get paid to go to the post office?
No, I don't. Not
Oh.
specifically.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll add that one. What about shipping stuff? Do you get paid to manage shipping?
No.
Oh. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Anything else that doesn't add money to your bank account?
All of them.
All right, so I'd argue that some of these actually do. For example, I'd say if they're in a vacuum, if we've got somebody who's leading the charge to increase reviews and conversions, that would be something that puts money in your bank account. If you have somebody who's emailing a list, that puts money in your bank account. If you've got somebody who is growing the sales and driving down the cost for pay-per-click and outside channels, that would be putting money in your bank account. Are we on the same page now?
Sure.
There's certain things like running to the post office does not put money in your bank account. It probably takes money out of your bank account.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So while this is sales related because it came as a result of sales, it doesn't put money in your bank account. These things do drive sales. Bookkeeping and managing budgets does not put money in your bank account. Cool?
Cool.
So let's start here because it's a really easy one. Our role now, our objective, is to take these hats that don't have activities that drive sales and drive the bank account. And before I do that, we want Bill to be here. I like it. I'm still calling him Bill.
You can call me Bill.
Okay, Bill. We want Bill here. We want you operating here because anything that would fall outside of here is a threat. It's now removing the CEO from running the company. In the same way, we want to box in this as a role, meaning If this person does anything that falls outside of here, it's now a threat. Now, this is, at first, this is messy, and we'll go into what that looks like. But for now, we want, ideally, this to be its own box. And we want customer service to be locked into its own box. And we want marketing to be in its own box. And we want finance to be in its own box. And if this person, if marketing person starts to do customer service, they have now stopped being the marketing leader and they have become the customer service person. What do you think this does to this person? It throws them into this, which throws them into this, and now we've got more red lines all over the place. And since it's multiple people, it's going to be multiple colors, and it's going to be an even bigger clusterfuck. So that's what it's going to look like if these people fall outside of their boxes. But if they stay in, then you are here to lead the charge. And these are your highest dollar an hour activities because we're actually building something lasting. You guys getting this?
Yep.
This making sense?
Yep.
So this is how we start to identify what we need to do in order to break free of our business. There are a few caveats to this. If, for example, you say, you know what, look, Ryan, you're handsome, but I don't really need a full-time person here. I don't really need to do anything with this. Bookkeeping is kind of a pain and a half. So, but I'm not going to hire somebody to do bookkeeping. But budgets, like, we worry about, that's a case-by-case decision. I'm not going to put someone in this box. Okay, great. So what we can do is we box in, let's get a different color. We're going to box in just this piece. This is a freelancer. If it doesn't fall under an entire hat, then this is just a freelancer. And look, I have had somebody manage bookkeeping for me, same girl, for like 8 years, and she manages all the books, and I pay her $50 an hour, and she works 6 hours a month. Pays bills, pays affiliates, does P&L, gets everything ready to send over to the accountant for end of the year stuff. I never think about books unless it's from, we need to evaluate what the numbers look like, where do these expenses go. I never think about it. If there's a mystery expense and my assistant doesn't know where it goes, I might have to give input, but I'm never doing this for a total of $300 a month. So this is, I don't have a finance person, I just have this. So if this is not a full-time thing, we can spin this off to a $1 per hour person or freelancer who's now taking this off. The same thing here. If right now where you are in your business is, look, inventory is really something that Kelly and I need to stay on top of. And maybe if we stripped out a lot of this other stuff and Kelly was just worrying about this, she could spend fewer hours and she was just worrying about this, it would clear up some room for me to start managing these other boxes. So that means, first thing you do when you go back to
Utah.
When you go back to Utah, is you're going to be, at the very least, boxing this in. Because for $8 an hour, $10 an hour, $15 an hour if you want the fastest package shipper ever, is taking all this off your plate and running and doing this on a per shipment basis or a per hour basis. Freeing up, just for example, versus Kelly to only worry about this, and now we have 2 boxes off of the CEO's plate. So now we're getting some clarity. Now, and so Matt and I did this for a while. This process came out of late night frustration of why is nothing getting done? Why are we all on the same page but nothing is moving? And went for a 2-hour walk, just frustrated as all get out, pulling out old journals and realizing that I had started to kind of massage this process. And we did it in my old business and it worked beautifully. And all of a sudden, I got to operate way more here than I was down here, but we weren't doing it anymore. So we started to reverse engineer this, and when I put it like this, Matt and I looked at it and was like, get it now. I understand why we're all frustrated and stressed and nothing gets done. Get it now, because we don't have CEOs and leaders. We call ourselves CEOs and leaders, but we're really bad CEOs and presidents. There's actually nobody in that role. We're doing all of this instead. So we start to move all this off, and for a while, it was okay for us to say, for a short time, we're going to wear multiple hats. For a short time, I am going to be, in ours, I think it was, I'm going to be CEO and marketing guy. I'm okay, like, it's not perfect. I don't want to be marketing guy forever. But as we're building, I'm okay wearing 2 hats for now. And then Matt was product development and product management, inventory, all that. He's going to wear those 2 hats for now. And we can fill in the rest. But eventually, we're on the same page that we got to be up here. So it's okay to wear certain hats at certain times, multiple hats at certain times, as long as we're clear about what's in the box. And if at any point I step out of the hats I wear and come into customer service, red rum. I have now stopped doing my job. I have now started redlining the whole thing, and that's a problem. Does this make sense so far?
Yeah.
So what out of this are action items for you to start clearing up these boxes?
Well, like you said, this is going to be my first action item when I get home. This is going to be easy for me to implement. The hiring process, when we're talking about that, is important to me because I've been trying to think, oh, yeah, I can really do this. Just how do I get the right person to handle this?
So I can't give you a magic wand for good people to show up, but
Sure.
I can give you the first step. For all of you, the first step here is when you've got a box that you need to clear off, you are to write a job description for this box. You have all of the tasks in here of what that person will be doing, which makes it really, really easy for you to start mapping out what that job is. How many of you are like, I know I need help, but I don't know what I need help with? You get clear by writing the description of what this box is. Now, at first, you'll hate me for this because you'll bring in somebody eventually and you'll be like, I gotta take, this is what invariably happens. What do I do in this situation? Damn it. All right, here's what, you do this. I'm gonna go operate in my marketing box, fucking Ryan. And then they're gonna say, what do I do in this situation? You're, and at first, it'll feel like another thing. But by day 5, as they're starting to develop these, all of a sudden, this box starts to get off of your plate, and it gets locked in. Make sense?
Yep.
So first task, write a description for the first box that you are going to hand off to somebody. Step 2, write a process for one of the points underneath the headline. We write how we do the process. This is the way to start building clarity, systems, and processes in the businesses that you run. We like to hear about systems and processes, and we're like, oh, great, that sounds like 2 years of my life. Thank you very much. But we can start the process by getting clear on what the role is and what the process is. And now it becomes a little bit more clear about what the right person looks like, because we have them described and we have some processes, and we can know, does this process make sense to you? Are you capable of doing this process? And if so, we have a candidate. Does it make sense? Does this provide some clarity for you and Kelly about how to start getting things off your plate so that your company has a CEO again?
Yeah, it does.
Cool. Give it up for Jared. Thank you, sir. Good to meet you. Turning off microphones is not in my box.
I have people for that. Do this.
I got people for that.
You do, though. Wait, let me say this really quick. So it's really interesting to see Ryan's trajectory, too, because when I first interviewed Ryan, he was like, oh, you can come do an interview at my apartment, blah, blah, blah. And then we just did another interview. He's like, come to my office. You can meet my team. They're amazing. It's like, oh, my gosh. You can see how much you've grown, like, insanely.
And that only happened as a result of clarity. That only happened as a result of getting very, very clear on what it is that we wanted to do and where we were going and who we needed. And that, I told the story yesterday, but one of our team members, Chris, said, I need you to put a stake in the ground and tell us where we're going. And I need, because I can build anything, but I have no idea what you want me to build. And that was a cool moment for me to realize I really, like, I haven't set that. I haven't been operating in the strategic direction piece. And that brought so much clarity and trajectory to our team and where we were going.
I think that's what's so interesting is as you start moving forward, these things will come up. Like, don't be like, oh, well, then I have to know that in advance. You won't know that until someone on your team necessarily goes, oh, and then you need to tell us, right? Ideally, you would. Don't get me wrong. Like, ideally, you'd be like, I'm the CEO. This is the way we go. But I'm sure as you were going through, you're like cobbling it together and figuring it out as you go and getting better and better and better. So because most of the time you guys see this and you're like, kind of scary hiring somebody, and like cash flow. We were just all really worried about cash flow and how do we do all of that? So like, how did you deal with all that?
Yeah, well, first of all, if you can't afford to pay someone $20 an hour to take this off your plate, something else is very, very wrong. Something else in your business is you're not thinking on high value activities enough. So if $20 an hour to start moving things off your plate is a threat to the books, something else is very, very broken. Because the stuff at the top line of it is $1,000 an hour, is $10,000 an hour. I mean, what is releasing a new product, selling a new product, working with, getting your customer base to rally behind a product? What is that all worth? I mean, at first, there's grunt work, and then it staves off, and it's immeasurably valuable. It's immeasurably profitable on an out per hour basis. So the longer you as CEO spend doing $20, just to think of the arbitrage there. If you have activities that are $5,000 an hour and you're spending time doing things that are $20 an hour, you are losing $4,980 per hour that you do that thing. And when you look at it that way, by me, and the initial process is to say, you know, it's quicker if I just handle this. I'm just going to handle this one time. I'm just going to take care of it. If you recognize that you taking care of it for the next half hour is actually costing your business $2,490, oh, it would actually be better for me to pay somebody the $20 an hour for me to do that. That was the shift in that type of thinking.
Well, it's funny, millionaires that I think every single millionaire I've ever interviewed said they wish they had hired sooner.
Amen.
Right? And it's scary, and I totally understand that 1,000 times over. And like when you hire somebody, you're like, crap, right? But thankfully, we now have Upwork and all these other places where you can get places that are freelancers and you can attempt it. You don't need to hire a full-time person with benefits or anything like that. There is no, thankfully nowadays, there is no huge jump. We can take little baby steps. I hired a VA who apparently had hired another VA to do her work. She was so crappy. It was so bad. Like, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Now I have a full-time team like that are utterly amazing. And you learn, you like mess up over and over, and you're like, that was dumb, that was really dumb, that was dumb again. And then you get better and better and better. So tell us a time or two or three that you were dumb, Ryan, in this process. Because we want to feel better about ourselves knowing that you're dumb in this process too. You're welcome.
I've probably felt the dumbest when I ignore big problems and don't address them, and in this context, it means keeping people too long.
Ooh, okay.
So Travis said something to me, I don't know when, but I heard his voice in my head the other day at 3 a.m., where he said that stress is the result of us ignoring something. That's the only, we get stressed when we are ignoring problems, and a couple weeks ago at 3 a.m., Esther started screaming. And I get up, I change the diaper, she's still screaming. And now I'm angry. And I can't sleep because now I'm just worked up. And all of a sudden, because now I'm in a pissed off state, I'm thinking about everybody I'm pissed off at. Everybody.
Not me, right?
Has not.
Okay.
We'll talk later. And it had not, like, all of a sudden I'm not even thinking about Esther anymore. I'm thinking about all the people I'm pissed off at. And I heard Travis Sago in my head. I heard Travis Sago in bed at 3 a.m. say to me, we get stressed out because we're ignoring problems. Couldn't sleep. I get up, I get my journal out, and I start to write down who I'm angry at, why I'm angry at them, and how I'm going to fucking handle it. And what's interesting is as I start to just even think about how I'm going to handle it, now it can be managed. Like, now I can do something about it. And for 3 months I've been angry at this thing when all I had to do was be real with myself and handle it. And I felt really dumb that I had let this fester for so long without just calling it out. Because you know what? Those conversations with those people weren't nearly as hard as I thought. Because it was simply as, you know, I'm noticing some problems and I need to address these. And doing that, I have some concerns about X. And doing that was, I've in 2 days, I cleared up 80% of the things that were stressing me out. And I felt so dumb that I had let them fester. And sometimes I have some concerns about this, and I don't want to have this conversation again. And if I have to have this conversation again, we need to make some decisions. And if that comes up again, then it's just simply making a decision.
See, and I love that. So one of the quick tips, because a lot of people we don't fire fast enough. You've heard this 1,000 times, hire slowly, fire fast, right? I like to set expectations up in advance so it's easier to fire people, because that sucks. Everybody hates firing people. It's the worst thing in the freaking world. It sucks. So what I do, and I don't know what you do on this, I'd love to hear it in a sec, is whenever I hire anyone, even a freelancer, I give them a time limit. I go, we're going to do a test. It's going to be a month, 2 months, 3 months. We're going to do reviews at certain checkpoints so I can give you feedback and let you know whether you suck or not. And I actually sometimes say that. And then if they don't perform, it's way easier to I let someone go a couple weeks ago. Not that it was fun in any way, shape, or form, but we had already performed. Every expectation was very clear when we go through. And when you do that, you can at least feel good that, like, crap, I know I have to have this conversation because it's the date I said I was going to have this conversation, even though I really, really don't want to have this conversation. And that's why you do employee reviews later on and stuff like that, too. So.
That is the difference between agreements and expectations.
Ooh, I like it.
Expectations are loose ideas in our head that can be violated and nobody knows it. An agreement that you have up front is just a simple evaluation. It's a pass-fail. It's did it happen or did it not happen? And so if you have an agreement up front rather than an expectation, there's clarity. That's true in, I mean, just other examples like romantic relationships. How many of you get mad at your romantic partner because you had an expectation that wasn't met? Had nothing to do with what you agreed upon. Had everything to do with you just had an expectation. Guess what? You made that up. And we blame the other person for not meeting the expectation that we made up. It's the same exact thing with hiring and managing teams. If there's expectations, great. I have a bridge to sell you too. It's going to be great. But agreements are clear. We can manage them and we can easily evaluate them.
I think what's so funny is that business, we say business is simple. It's not easy. Not easy, but very simple. When we look at this, you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Like, you just draw in the boxes, Ryan. Good job. Oh, you can with colors. Great
Thanks.
job. Good. But being able to see that and going, oh my gosh, that changes what I now do, right? And whatever those things that we're going to do might not be easy, because heck, we're entrepreneurs. We like do really crappy hard stuff all the time because we're crazy. But being able to push through that and do that anyway and having these shifts, that will change your trajectory. Like if Jared kept going, he would drive him and his wife both crazy, just doing that forever without shifting anything. Yeah. Thank goodness you came here, right? And we'll come back next year. Okay? I'm working for you. I'm working for you, Ryan. But what do you think, because I know we only have a few minutes left, like what do you think is the parting advice for them to go like, okay, this was great, let's hope. give them something to like take away.
Well, I think that the big takeaway is being very clear of what's in that top box, of what is, you call them strengths. I keep saying things that move the needle, things that make a difference. And what are those activities or what are those habits or what are those things that make a difference? And we build around that. But when we don't have that identified, it's easy to get just lost in the noise and lost in the mishmash, and you get all these red lines everywhere.
Well, and let me clarify though too, because you might not be a good CEO, by the way. Let's just say that. Like, I'm not saying everybody should be trying to be the CEO, because some of you might suck at that stuff, right? Like, if you're horrible at seeing the future, you don't want to be the guy trying to see the future or not, or hiring any of those things. You really have to figure out what those strengths are, and then you live in whatever that box is. It's not as though you have to be the CEO right now. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry.
Are you cool taking a couple questions?
Oh, sure.
Cool, let's do that. So, wow, all right. Let's go into it. That's an interesting point, actually, that you don't necessarily have to be the CEO. It's your business. You can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be the investor, okay, what are the responsibilities there? And what do you need to build around that? If you want to be the face, like if there's nothing that you would rather do but be on stage talking and leading workshops, how do you build around that?
My team calls me the talent. I feel like an idiot. They're like, she's the talent. Careful, she's the talent. I'm like, shut up.
Over here?
Hey, guys, I just got to say that your collaboration is speaking right to me. So you guys, I suggest you guys keep doing that. So I'll go right into it. So when you're in the leadership position, and what I've heard a lot is you want to get the right people on the bus first and then figure out where they're supposed to be. And that's what I'm getting from this. So my question is, what if you see somebody who should be driving their own bus? What if there's somebody who's tackling every single thing you give them and it's never enough for them and they need to be doing their own thing? And you guys working together is never going to get...
I know, we're both like...
I want this one.
No, I want... Okay.
I need an answer from both you guys.
Hold on.
Good, thanks.
We're going to do 1 out of 1, rock, paper, scissors. It's going to be rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ready?
I'm just going to fight him.
Okay. Rock. Hold on, let's get in sync here. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Dang, go ahead.
I'm a winner, just so you know. So, okay, I had this exact same thing actually happen to me not that long ago. I knew in advance, and she's amazing, I knew in advance that she always kind of wanted to do her own thing, and that makes it really tough to hire somebody because we're entrepreneurs. We want them to do what they want to do, right? But things started to change. You start seeing issues, and I go, we need to have a heart-to-heart. I don't think you're really in this anymore. And she goes, I'm a bad employee right now. And I was like, you said it. But it's one of those things where everybody sort of knows. Do you know what I mean? And you want them to be happy as a human being, not just in your company, like being an upset employee. Was that fast enough so you can do your answer too? Okay.
I have a completely different answer.
Oh, good.
First of all, you're not getting the right people on the bus and then figure out where you're going. You're figuring out where you're going and you're picking up people along the way. So figure out where you're going so that you know what the route is so you can pick the right people up. So that's a completely different question. So the original question is, what if I see somebody who it's never enough for them and they need to be running their own thing? You evaluating that they need to be running their own thing is your projection. They may be perfectly happy running your company, and if that's the case, it's just what we call a keeper. And that's somebody that moves up in our company, and we're very, very thankful for those people. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to be up on stage. Not everybody wants to be answering customer service emails. But for all of those things, there are people who absolutely love it. There's a story that Dan Sullivan likes to tell where he talks about his bookkeeper who's been with him for like 15 years. And he thinks that's the most boring job in the whole world. Like, who would want to do the same thing every day? And so he asked her one day, are you happy in this work? And she says, oh, Dan, it is never a dull day here in the office. You never know what you are going to find. And it's like we have different strengths. And so when you say that person really needs to be running their own thing or doing their own thing, that's your projection. And if they do want to run their own thing, either A, awesome, because now you can give them their own department or their own company that you now have a good partner in, or you have that and you address it, and you get really good work for a while until they figure out how they're going to go out on their own.
Okay, so I need to say something. Gary Keller talks about this too, because the reason why I couldn't do that, because I agree with you. I think that's exactly what you should do. If your people don't care about money, because I was like, we can put you in your own department, we can make you happy, you can charge for it, you can make as much money as if you were on your own, right? But if freedom and not having a boss is important to them, and these are all clarifying questions that you need to find out, right? If you can move them up because they're a rock star and they're utterly amazing, please do that. Hiring a new person sucks, right? But if you cannot, that's where that happens. Have you had that conversation with them yet or no?
It's got to happen very soon.
And that's what sucks because you're like, crap. I know you've known it for a long time that you've had to have that conversation.
Yeah, it's something you're ignoring that you just need to say, I have some concerns.
Yep. Action item number 1. Crap.
Does this make sense? All right, cool. Thank you. Okay, we're going to have time for 2 more. Over here.
Hey, guys. Ari Cohen from Los Angeles and Chelsea here.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. Soon to be Austin.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm moving next month. Really awesome collaboration. I used to be a business consultant at my day job before I quit to do this full-time, and I would do similar things. And of course, being in the problem, you don't see your own situation as clearly. So one question was, Jamie, you said that if you don't like doing the CEO stuff, you don't have to do it. Mm-hmm. But then the question would be, how would you find someone to run a company and then they would be your boss?
There are millionaires, yes, they have done that. So this is not really you guys. You guys don't, unfortunately, probably have to do this because you don't have the money to pay the CEO that's going to be better than you at this point, just so you know. But yes, there are millionaires that I have interviewed that now have a CEO. Because, okay, when you look at this, no offense, CEO is still a job. Like the people that I work with are owners. CEO, here, owner, here. Very different. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's cool. The other one, real quickly, is like, so let's say you hire, like we just hired our first 2 VAs, which we are now talking about. We want to hire an actual employee that is in town. We can meet with them and manage them and lead them. But with a VA, let's say you give them 10 tasks and they do 5 of them well and 5 of them not so well, and we're like, we just want to fire you because you suck. Mm-hmm. Or should we just cut back their tasks and hire a second person? Fire them.
Because it's a VA. You can find somebody who can do 10 tasks really, really well. I hope.
No, that answers
right? Unless they're in different boxes and you're trying to like mesh somebody together. Because hiring is kind of a pain. You're always trying to find, and don't get me wrong, there's never like perfect everybody for every task. But in general, if half of their work is crappy,
then probably more than half of it is, and you just don't know it.
Yes, which sucks.
Cool. Thank you.
Is Jeff Woods in the house?
Woo!
Yeah, give it up for Jeff Woods. So you saying this reminded me of Jeff Woods is that you way in the back? Yeah. So he's sitting way in the back. He's actually a really big deal. He is. I hope you're okay with me saying this. If it's not, well, I have the microphone. It's just Jeff is one of the new CEO. He's the CEO of one of Gary Keller's new companies, and so Gary is the owner. Jeff is the CEO, setting the strategic direction, making big decisions, and then proposing to the owner. So it follows that process. So Jeff is a super big deal. I'm really proud that he's here.
He's amazing. He just introduced me to Bruce Buffer from UFC 2, by the way, yesterday. I'm so excited.
We need to do one quick one, and we'll go here.
Hey, how are you doing? My name's Raymond. I'm from Miami, Florida, and this is for you, Jamie. So I own several different businesses, not all of them inside of the tech industry. Mm-hmm. So I've hired plenty of employees. I want to I would like for you to elaborate a little bit more on what the culture test is. I mean, you mentioned it, but you didn't say what it was and what you look for in it. Okay,
so I have so many, like email me, because I will send you specific interviews that sort of talk a little bit more, because we have like 2 minutes, great. Because there's culture, and then what I was talking about specifically, it's called the Culture Index, right? I think you can go to kisgangroup.com, which is
That sounds easy to spell.
I know, it's horrible. I'll introduce you to Doug. He'll tell you if you want the culture index, which I highly recommend. This is not for Doug. I'm not an affiliate in any way, shape, or form.
Let's do a podcast episode on it. We'll do a Freedom Fastlane podcast about the culture index.
That'd be perfect.
Well, no, I'll have Doug be on your. Yeah, I'll just introduce you to Doug. Doug will tell you everything.
Okay, great. We'll make it happen in some capacity.
Problem solved.
Cool. Hey, Jamie, thank you for being here. Let's give it up for Jamie Tardy.
Thank you.